Mr. Lane, you've been hired by Mrs. Marguerite Oswald to defend her son in front of the Warren Commission. Could you give us some details on that?
Well, yes, I think that it was a disgraceful thing in terms of the total destruction of his rights when he was in custody, up to and including, for instance, killing while in police custody in the basement of the Dallas courthouse. But in addition to the civil liberties aspect of this case, there are some very serious doubts, troubling doubts, in reference to whether or not Oswald was involved in any way in the assassination. I think that all Americans have the right to know what took place on November 22nd, 1963. The only way we ever discover what actually happened under our system of law is when evidence and testimony goes through the crucible of cross-examination.
You do feel then that perhaps Lee Oswald is innocent of the charge of having assassinated President Kennedy?
Well, like all good Americans, I believe that, as the law tells me that I must, that a person is innocent, presumed innocent unless proven guilty. Oswald has not been proven guilty. In addition to this overall presumption, there are some glaring holes and inconsistencies in the case against Oswald as presented by the District Attorney of Dallas, Henry Wade, just after Oswald had been killed in the Dallas courthouse basement. For example, Mr. Wade told us that the taxi driver who took Oswald from the scene toward his home was named Darrell Click. And Darrell Click was the taxi driver who drove Oswald. It turns out there is no Darrell Click who was a taxi driver in Dallas. I checked with the monopoly, the city transportation company, and in Dallas, and they said there is no Darrell Click who's employed as a taxi driver. This is one of the small inconsistencies. There are major ones. Mr. Wade stated to the whole nation on television that he had the murder weapon. It was a Mauser, a German Mauser. The next day, after the FBI revealed that Oswald had purchased an Italian carbine some months before in March, then for the first time Mr. Wade discovered that the murder weapon which he had then was not a Mauser, but it was an Italian carbine.